Welcome to the 1457 podcast, a special we are doing Trails Where Golf Began. And that is from Scotland Where Golf Began, which is a dynamic digital platform we want to inspire golfers near and far with our eye-catching photography, wonderful short films, insightful stories, and now brilliant podcasts like the one you're listening to as we speak. We want to inspire golfers from across the world to visit our shores. I am Stevie, your resident golf nut, your functioning golf addict. And on this episode, my co-pilots are Malcolm. Introduce yourself to the listening public, Malcolm.
Hi, I'm Malcolm Duck in Duck's Inn in Aberlady, and we welcome loads of golfers, wine them, dine them, give them lots of whiskey, send them out to play golf, do it all over again, and have great fun and make wonderful memories.
And we are also joined by Dave Kerr. Good evening, Dave. Introduce yourself to our listeners.
Good evening. So I'm Dave Kerr. I own a golf tourism business called Morton Golf. We welcome golfers from across the world to Scotland and try and show them the wonderful delights that are on offer here, be that restaurants, whiskey distilleries, castles, golf courses, of course. Send them home happy.
And Malcolm, can you briefly explain what a golf trail is for somebody that maybe is listening and not heard about it before?
So what we felt Scotland Where Golf Began was we needed to not just tell about the golf course, but what else you can do. So on the website, www.scotlandwheregolfbegan, you'll find some of these trails. So we actually tell you the golf courses, the areas, the places to stay, and the things to do. And we're trying to do that through a series of little trails with titles. And we're looking at today Inner City Golf and Get Crafty and Get Crafty's Golf and Real Ale. Some of the other ones are ferry golf, playing golf and how you get there by ferries, Links the Seaside, what you can do round about the seaside, and the perfect match, which is golf and whiskey. So we're trying to take some of the pain out of you, give you some ideas what you can do as well as playing golf around about Scotland with your pals or your family or whatever, or what's which.
Dave, so inner city golf is our first theme. Can you kind of just give us a little definition of what inner city golf is?
Absolutely, Stevie, will do. You can see why you've come to me, obviously, because my inner city roots from rural Perthshire, obviously. Yes. But so all of Scotland's cities actually are blessed with some amazing golf courses, amazing experiences that wrap around them. But today we'll spend a bit of time talking about Edinburgh, but there'll also be trails on the website talking about Glasgow, Dundee and Aberdeen, which are other amazing cities with tremendous golf courses in and around them. Often when people think of Scotland, they think of very rural settings or seaside settings for golf courses, but we're very lucky in that the diverse range of golf courses that we've got on offer, there are many in and around our big cities as well.
So I am a West Coast guy, like brought up in Ayrshire, but living in Glasgow. So I am going to leave it to you guys to talk about the Edinburgh Trail and the courses on that. Brunsfield Links, what's that like?
It's a tremendous golf course. It recently went through some major changes, but massively enhanced what was already a terrific golf course. It sits down near the Firth of Forth. There's maybe 3 or 4 golf courses all around the same northern part of Edinburgh. Brunsfield, the Silver Knowes, which is a municipal golf course, and also the Burgess. And there's a keen rivalry. Royal Burgess. There's a keen rivalry, I believe, between Royal Burgess, and Brunsfield Links. I think they had their first meetings on the same night back in the 18th century. But I think, and don't tell anyone at Brunsfield Links this, I think Burgess got their minutes published first, so therefore recognised as the older golf club. But it's an amazing golf course, tremendous membership, great views out over the Firth of Forth, absolutely stunning little place to play golf. And as I say, I mentioned there Silver Knowes, which is a stone's throw really from Brunsfield, which is a municipal golf course. I think it's the first 18-hole golf course I played, actually, university. At that time, so this was mid-90s, it had the longest hole in Scotland. The 18th hole at Silver Knowes runs 606 yards and sits on a bank. So every shot has to be hit left, and then you find it on the right-hand side. And at that time, I was hitting a lot of shots into a 606-yard par 5, if I'm honest. I think I did maybe par it once or twice, but certainly no more than that.
Brunsfield used to be up in the Meadows, so that's where it originated. Does it not fight with Royal Blackheath as to being one of the oldest golf clubs in the UK? So all these fights are who's the oldest, youngest, newest. But Brunsfield moved up by the Meadows in Edinburgh. They still play a kind of small course around there, which is more of a pitch and putt course, and one or 2 tournaments are doing that. And then there's the old golf pub there tavern, as well. Yeah. Golf Tavern, which is a wonderful old place. I wish it'd do a bit more with its history in golf. Golf's been drinking there for very many years. And then Dalmahoy. Dalmahoy's reasonably new, 2 courses at Dalmahoy. Tremendous golf course. And again, some changes there. I remember we played the Australian Wine Golf Days with Roger Davis. I remember he was given a wee lesson, and I got my daughter out with a plastic putter. She was about 3. And then the next thing I saw was this buggy careering down the 16th, and Roger's got a glass of wine in one hand and a bottle of wine in the other hand, and it's going Mach 6. And I suddenly realised my 3-year-old daughter's between his legs driving the buggy. But Murrayfield Golf Club, right in the middle, not far from the zoo, a bit up and down, great lady section, tremendous golf course. All these golf courses are parkland. Yeah, you really have to work out where you're going to place your drives. A tremendous golf course, very, very friendly, not long, not expensive, but it's Murrayfield Golf Club, because if you go to Murrayfield, you might need your boots and an oval ball, because that's where the Scottish rugby's played. Make sure you go to the golf course, not the rugby ground.
So I've got a question for you. So Prestonfield Golf Course, is that beside Prestonfield House, the hotel? Is that part of the hotel? Or
it's not part of the hotel. It's quite an old golf course.
Right.
It starts on the hill and then it goes down, and it goes around the outskirt of Prestonfield House Hotel, which was Prestonfield House. The restaurant there is called Rhubarb. It's one of the first places that rhubarb was grown. Magnificent place, Prestonfield, run by James Thompson.
Well, obviously good enough for President Joe Biden in November. You wonder whether he played Prestonfield.
Was he there?
Was he? As well? Yeah, that's when he stayed for COP26.
Prestonfield's lovely. A lot of these courses are more summer golf courses than winter golf courses. So a lot of the Edinburgh guys also are members in Scotland's Golf Course in East Lothian, because our climate is so fantastic and wonderful and great that you can play golf all year long. I mean, right now we're not playing with mats. So most of the Edinburghers have second courses down the coast. I think there are between 30 and 50 golf courses round about Edinburgh of one shape or another. There's a lot of golf around about Edinburgh. And again, if you're staying out in Scotland's Golf Coast, it's not hard to nip into town to play some of these.
It would be remiss of us to not say that, Edinburgh is probably one of the tourist capitals of Scotland, where you will get to do many great tourist things if you want to do that. The Royal Mile, the Edinburgh Castle. You could even go and watch a football game, watching either Hibs or Hearts. Dave, who do you support?
I'm more on your side of the country, really. Steve.
Yeah, you're a Rangers man, aren't you? That's a good guy. He's a good guy. Okay, so you did like to talk up East Lothian as usual, which means that Dave gets a chance when we talk about the Get Crafty theme to talk up the wonderful Kingdom of Fife, where golf did begin. And has some of the best golf courses, new and old, in the whole of the world, never mind Scotland.
When did Leith Links move to Fife?
But what I will say about this is, we would love to enthuse about, of course, St Andrews Links and all those courses. Many of them are some of the famous courses, most famous courses in the world. Dave, this Get Crafty is about beer. It is also a little bit about gin, because it's craft gin. But tell us about those kind of links with the Kingdom of Fife that maybe some of our listeners don't know about.
Yeah, I think there's a proud tradition, I suppose, of linking golf and alcohol.
Well, I was going to say a proud tradition of drinking in the Fife. Yes, that is true, but it's not just exclusive to Fife, Dave.
No, well, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. The great thing I think about Fife is you've got both ends of the spectrum when it comes to your beers and your gins and even your whiskies, to be honest. So in terms of old and new, you've got the Lindores Abbey in Fife, just outside Newborough. It's one of the very, very first places to distill whiskey in Scotland, dating back to 1494. This is proper history stuff here. And then on the other hand of the spectrum, you've got Eden Mill Gin Distillery, which is just outside Guard Bridge, which is just on the road into St Andrews. And they make some amazing craft gins. Only started up maybe in the kind of last 10 years or so. And then you've got some amazing little craft brewers as well. The St Andrews Brewing Company, which made quite a reputation for itself recently, and is also doing some work to sponsor golfers and sponsor golf events as well. So they've clearly recognised all that historic link between golf and alcohol. Although I did note recently, I'm sure Malcolm's got some views on this, it's now the World Golf Museum in St Andrews are myth busting on social media. And one of the myths they busted is that there's 18 holes on a golf course because there's 18 shots of whiskey in a bottle. And they've said that that's just an old wives' tale and it's just been made up. So that's sad. But you can still make it true.
I'm going to perpetuate that urban myth.
Absolutely.
I go on a golf course with somebody new to Scotland, particularly in Fife. And,
I think Stevie is the urban myth. I mean... Golf started in Fife, and now what?
Malcolm, I think you were actually one of the first person that ever told me that is why there was 18 holes of the old course, was because people wanted to have 18 nips and a bottle of whiskey.
I never said that.
I'm sure that came from you.
That's not come from a duck.
So he takes his time over his whiskey. He doesn't drink it that quick. Doesn't take it that quick.
I mean, there's obvious places to stay in Fife. I've stayed in the Russell's Hotel many times, and including more recently when it's been refurbished, and that's a phenomenal hotel to stay in, and as is the Old Course Hotel. Where else in that area is good to stay if you wanted to golf in Fife?
Yeah, so again, in the town of St Andrews, obviously you've got some amazing hotels that you've mentioned there, Stevie, but outside of the town as well, you've got a number of amazing options, and whether it's a small B&B you're looking for, or it's something a bit more exclusive use. And the wonderful Hawkswood Country Estate just outside Pete Inn, kind of overlooking St Andrews, has a tremendous range of accommodation on offer. Some amazing buildings, 5-star exclusive use property, but also a kind of small bed and breakfast where you can let someone else take the strain for you as well. Perfect for the golfer as well, because they've got practice facilities on site. They've got their own driving range on site, if you can believe that, and a lovely wee putting green where you can maybe, after a few of those whiskies or glasses of red wine, you can maybe settle a debate if there was maybe a half mat in a game of golf earlier in the day.
So other areas with the same theme you can check out on where Scotland Golf Began website.com is Highlands and Perthshire, Aberdeen and Angus, East Lothian, believe it or not, Dumfries and Galloway, and the Borders, and of course the West Coast and the islands. And remember, if you check out the 1457 podcast feed, you can hear about some of the other trails that include ferry golf, links to the seaside, the perfect match, honest and short and less obvious. If you want to get in touch with us, it's info@scotlandwheregolfbegan.com. We're on social at Where Golf Began, and our website is www.scotlandwheregolfbegan.com.